What is up, tubers? Teal here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series of Lake Chickamauga. This is our next to last video that we're going to do for the Google Earth side for Lake Chickamauga. So we're still on the southern section. Let's go ahead and jump into it, see what we can find tonight. Should be a good one. Let's roll. Let's go ahead and jump in here to Chickamauga South, the south section. Now, if you've missed any of the videos before, what we actually did was we broke this into three different sections. So we've got the southern section, which is what we're going to go over tonight. We also have this mid section that you'll see right here, pretty much from Harrison Bay State Park all the way up here to this Highway 60. We covered all of that in the previous videos, and then we also had the Chickamauga upper section, which would be Highway 60 here north, all the way up both sides of the rivers there. So if you missed those, just go out, take a look at our lake breakdown playlist, and you'll be able to find all of those videos posted. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the south section. Now the first thing I'll do is just show you how we have this categorized. We've got several different categories that are in here. Let me uncheck these first and we'll just go through them. So channels and ditches, that's going to be all these green tracks that you see. Those are basically the channels that we're able to see when the water is pulled way down. The channels are exposed so we can mark them for you with these tracks, and that really allows you to position yourself correctly when you're out there fishing. We've got lots of different cover. That's going to be laydowns, brush, docks, man-made structures, ponds, brush piles, I mean, you name it, tires, different types of break wall type things that we found. Just all kinds of high percentage stuff that we found, we went ahead and marked for you guys. Got grass beds down in this area too, so several different areas where you should be able to find some grass beds. The offshore hot spots, we've got lots of those. We won't cover those tonight, but we will cover those on another video. We'll actually use the Navionics mobile app to do that, and Google Earth's kind of weird when you're looking at these offshore ones. You have to go back to the date, so it adjusted back to the date, and now you can see all the different offshore hotspots. And again, we'll talk about those in a later video. We got lots of different ramps, lots of ramps in this area, lots of ramps over here in this area, and then several down here. And then lots of rock formations, bluff walls, rock piles, all kinds of stuff to look at around here. And then finally, the TVA brush piles. You heard me talk about those in previous videos, but we imported those from the fishing page from TVA, and we're able to put those on the card as well. So let's go ahead and select everything here in the southern section. I'm going to take the offshore off. I'm going to change this view, take the slide bar off. I'm going to move this back to 2013 or whatever gives us the best image here. Now remember, just a second ago, it was giving me a good image. Now, where that rock was, I want to make sure it's exposed, and it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's start down here at the dam, and we'll work our way up. First off, just down here by the dam, pretty common stuff. You know, you've got rock here, you've got some man-made structure. If I zoom in here, you'll see it a little bit better. Some man-made structure here you can fish around, some more rock. But you guys know as well as I do, dams are always great places to fish around. So if you have the opportunity to go up there and fish around that, you definitely want to do that. You've also got some rock over here. So if you look over here, obviously I think this is like a, I don't know if that's a swim area or what's going on there, but just off the side of that little riprap starts where they're protecting this little park here. And that's some pretty good rock. I don't know if you can actually fish in here. Now that I see this, I can see buoys in here, so you probably can't fish in here. But at least fish on the edge right here, right? You got some rock here that you could fish around. So some good stuff there. You've got a boat ramp that's right here as well. You got more rock that's just right outside this boat ramp. And in fact, you got something going on right here. I don't know if this is another like rocky ledge or what's going on right here. You've got some structure that's out there too, some man-made structure. You got some rock that's back here in the back of these two marinas, some more rock that's back here too, and then obviously more ramps. That is a lot of marinas and a lot of docks, I guess, and a little bit of space. But anyways, let's keep moving up. So we're going to move on up, go to this first pocket, and as we get back into this pocket, I didn't see too much, kind of a sandy type bank line, but if you get back here, you get down around these docks, there is a little bit of rock just right back in here, right where we have it marked at. So you could check that out. Other than that, that pocket doesn't have a lot of cover and stuff to take a look at. Now moving on up here, you do have a lot of ramps. So you've got a ramp here, you've got another one here. You've also got these little boat, I don't even know what you would call them, like they're ramps, but they take them up into the boat docks. But the fish will be attracted to those types of things. So if you're fishing that boat ramp pattern, maybe as you're doing it, come over here and fish around these little rails, stuff like that. You can have some pretty good success doing that. Plus you've got some docks here you could fish, some more rocks, another ramp, and then rock against these seawalls. Those are pretty good areas to find fish as well. And then another ramp, more ramps, and more ramps. So I'm gonna pull back to show you where I'm at. So we went up this pocket. We just talked about all this area right here. Now let's go up and let's talk about this area that's right in here. So we get in here into this very first pocket where Shaw Trucking is. We have some more rock up against this seawall right in here. You can see it right there. You've also got a little bit more right in here. And then if you get back in here, you've got a little bit more rock on the back of that pocket, and then really a lot of it right in here. So if you're on kind of that shallow rock pattern, you know, this is going to be a great little seawall to run right here, basically from this dock all the way up to where that boat ramp is. That's probably going to be a pretty good little crankbait run, you know, type thing. If the bite is on there, you know, shad spawn might get up in there too. So some pretty good opportunities that could be happening right there where that rock is. Now moving on up, we've got some more rock around this ramp. And then if you look here off of this seawall, you got to get a little bit further off of it, but there's a little bit of rock right in here. And I could see that being a pretty good little area. You've also got more out here. So very similar to this side. If you find it over here and the bite's good, you can hop over and find it on the other side as well. It kind of tapers off up here, but you still have a little bit of it out here. And again, you got to get out away from the wall a little bit in order to be able to find that rock that's there. That looks like a pretty cool house. Then we're going to move up. We've got a ramp that's here, more rock again, all along this seawall. You can see it. It's really good. It's really heavy rock right in here as well. This is going to be a good little area to go check out. Then we're going to move up. We're going to look at this little pocket. Didn't find too much back in the back of that pocket, but as we come out of it and we get into this main lake point, obviously this point's going to be an awesome point to fish just because of where it's at, but it gets even better. We've got a lay down over here off to the right of it, but you've got nice, really good rock right off the tip of this point. So this whole entire point is going to be awesome. Plus you got some kind of man-made structure over here, some man-made structure over there as well that you could fish. I mean, this thing looks juicy. This looks like a great place. This whole area right here looks like a great place to go find some fish. Then we're going to move up. We're going to come up here. That looks like a pretty steep bank line. Maybe it's not as steep as it looks. It's just the trees are throwing me off, but I can't see too much along that bank line. But then once I get over here to the side, we find another boat ramp that's right here on the Booker T. Washington boat ramp. If you move in a little bit closer and you zoom in, you're going to notice there's a big laydown. It's just north and east of where that fishing pier is. So it's going to be right here. It's going to be a good little place for you crappie fishermen, but also bass fishermen to go in there and flip around that laydown and see if you can find anything in that spot. Moving up, these little points are always good, especially when they're leading into these little pockets. But that rock right there, that riprap, all around this area right here, especially around that edge of that point, is going to be a pretty good spot to take a look at too. You've got the same thing here. You got the rock over here, more rock in this back side. And then if you move back, as you get back in here, you'll notice it says grass beds. And I know you're going to say, well, wait a second, there's no grass beds, but give me a second and I'll show it to you. So I'm going to move this down and show you there's also some more laydowns that are right there that you could check out. So let's do this. Let's come back up here. We talked about those grass beds. Now, just a reminder where I'm at. Came from the dam and I worked my way up here to this Booker T. Washington State Park. I'm going to move the date up to 10 and 24, and all of a sudden you're going to realize that there's a lot of grass back in here, and you can see it pretty well. So it just depends on when the image is, but we definitely have those marked for you guys, and you should be able to find those grass beds even when you're in times like 11, 13 where you can't see them. You should be able to do a little bit of just, you know, mapping and graphing and see what you can find, you should be able to find some underwater stuff there as well that we just can't see in this image. Now, as you pull off of here, there's a spot here that I'm surprised we didn't mark, but I bet we have it marked as an offshore spot, which is why we didn't mark it here. But this point is very similar to that other point in that it has rock over here off the edge of it. And that just looks like a really good area, a really good point to go fish off of. Then we're gonna move up. We've also got more grass beds that are back here in the back of this pocket. We've got more rock along this little seawall here that you can see. So again, some really good shallow water rock. Got another ramp that's up here. Get past these docks, we go way up this bank line again, and then get back in here. We've got some more grass beds and another ramp. Another ramp here too at the Pecan Point. That one was Vincent Road. And then we move up, not seeing too much on this bank line. Now when we get out here, obviously you can see the grass beds, and this stuff is gonna probably grow all the way out in here as well. So you're gonna have some opportunities out here to try to locate some fish, but you can see if I zoom in here, you can see there's a little bit of growth already in there. You can see it already. And if I change the date, it's gonna look a lot different. Now, one thing that I didn't notice last time I was here, but I could see it now, is what the heck is that? Don't know what that is, but I'll be checking that out to see what that is. But lots of grass beds here. Let's move that up to 2014. And now you can see where it gets really thick. So get out here off the edges of this and see what you can find. And also come in here on the inside edges and just work the edges of those grass lines so you can have some success there. We've also got some more grass beds that are out here while we're looking at grass beds. You can look at them all over here, more back in here, all in here. So several of them there. Let's move this back to 2013. And let's keep moving around this bluff wall. Now this bluff wall, obviously really nice bluff wall here. And then as we move down from there, this point has some really good rock on it. You can see it right here, and then you can see it getting really thick right in that area. We're gonna move on down. We've got some more rock that's right in here as well. Some rock off of that point. If I zoom in, you'll see it. This one looks good because you've got this little concrete thing right here, and then all of a sudden it changes over to this really, scattered rock or kind of thick rock. And then on the other side is just kind of sandy, not much going on, maybe even a possible laydown that's over there still. And then you've got another point here too with a lot of good rock on it. Multiple ramps. This point looks good because it's nice and shallow. I'm sure there's times when this point can come into play, just being one of those big clay points. But other than that, there's really not a lot of stuff on this point. There may be a brush pile or something like that there, but it was hard to see what it was, so we didn't even mark it for you guys. Over here, we've also got some more rock. Moving down, additional rock all along this little seawall that's right in here. Actually, it's not even a seawall, I don't think. Let's look at it. It's just some rock just protecting the edge of that wall, but you can see it's just man-made riprap. But sometimes that stuff can really come into play when it's shallow, especially during springtime. So you'll want to get up there and try it out and see what you can find. You've got another ramp back here. And then as we move in here, we're going to get back in here to the Chattanooga Yacht Club. Off this point, when you're first coming in, oops, accidentally moved that down. This point, when you're first coming in, move that back. You can see that if you can get down here behind, actually let's go to the point first. You get to the point, there's some kind of structure or something going on here. I don't know what it is, if it's a man-made structure or if it's just a big ledge that's right here. Something's going on right in here, so I just check it out. But as we move over here, we can see some pretty good rock little points that are back here behind these docks. Well, this one looks accessible, so you could fish here and then fish around here as much as you can, see what you can find. And then moving down here, you've just got a little bit more around these marinas. Now, I don't know if they'll let you fish around these marinas or not, but if they will, definitely go in the backs of these and fish around these little marina walls the best that you can without disturbing anything. And you get back in here, it gets a little shallow, but you do have some rock that's back in here that we marked for you guys all around here, around the edges, more ramps, more rocks, lots of grass beds that are back here in this area, and then just some more shallow rock back in there too. Then we'll move on up. We'll see another ramp that's right here. We'll go over here, we'll swing around, we'll go to the point. When you get off this point, this looks pretty good. We've got rock marked here, but this looks like a ton of brush piles or something as well. So whatever this is, this looks really good. And I would definitely go and look at it and see if you can find anything there. Hopefully you can take advantage of something that's in that area. Then we'll move on down. We'll see what else we can find in here. We've got some more laydowns that are right there in that area. Now they're not there in 2013, but when I move it up to 2016, now all of a sudden we have these laydowns that appear. So some pretty interesting stuff. You definitely have to move back and through the years to really get a good picture of what's going on with the lake. We've got some more ramps all in this area. More ramps here too. That's the Harrison Bay boat ramp. We've got a few laydowns that are back here. So you may have a little opportunity right here in just this little bend that's right there to catch a few off some laydowns. You've also got a ramp out there, and then I'm going to zoom back and show you guys where that was at. So here I was in the yacht club. We went up, and then we went into that little pocket that's right here. And that's where all those laydowns were, right there on the side right there. So let's come out. We'll come across that point, and now we're going to come back out and start heading back north. We've got another ramp here. We've got some really good rock along that seawall as well. Some rock there too. More rock in this area. Just all kinds of little areas where there's shallow rock all along the bank line. And then you've got some more pretty decent rock right here coming off the edge of this really steep kind of bluffy type wall or point that's out here. But then you got some really good rock that's right there. So I would take a look at that. Also these seawalls, as we mentioned before, any of these seawalls that have that rock, you want to go and look at those. More rock in there. This point looks good. I love it when the points come out and they have that really heavy riprap on it. That's a good one there. You got another one here and kind of a smaller one right there in that area. And then back here, here's those tracks. So here's a nice little creek channel that's coming here that you could take advantage of. You've got more rock if you can get down here in these marinas and fishing. You've got some pretty good rock back here. In the backs of them, you've also got some more rock over here off these points. So as this point comes out, which it probably looks like an island when the water's up, but as that island comes out, if you come over here and you get off the left-hand side of it, you're going to notice a pretty good rock pile right here. Probably a community hole, I'm sure, but even if it's not, or even if it is, maybe someone will learn that there's a rock pile there and they can take advantage of it. So moving on up, we got more rock over here off the edge. Now remember, if you're looking for that rock pile, you're gonna have to get off there a little bit. If I move that up to 2014 when the water's up, it's gonna look a lot, let's see, actually, you may be able to see the rock, possibly, but I doubt it. But anyways, I would go check it out. All that grass around there too just looks good. All right, then moving back here in the marina, these are little rocky areas in the marina. The ramp that's back there, the rock, the riprap that's around the walls here. And then this whole highway, the riprap around this highway could be good too. So you may want to get up there with a little crankbait or something like that, Squareville, and see what you can find back here in this Harrison Bay. When we get back in here too, we're gonna go underneath this bridge and let's see what else we have under the bridge. Obviously we got rock on all four corners. This is a hot spot bed for fish. Anytime you can find these pinch points, especially when they're around the bridges, that is going to be a very good place to find fish. And notice on top of that, there's a brush pile right there in the middle of them. So I would spend some significant amount of time right here around that bridge, seeing what you can find. It's really close to the, what's that, Wolfed Ever Creek boat ramp. I think that's how you say it. But anyways, there's the ramp there. I mean, literally, you're right there in about 2 seconds and probably have a heyday just fishing right there in that area. You got some more rock that's up in here, some more laydowns that you can see that we've got marked. I won't zoom into too many of them because it'll take us forever to get through the breakdown. But as we move back in here, I didn't see too much along these bank lines until we get back in here and we kind of get into this little creek that comes back here, or river channel, or whatever you want to call it. But as you get over here, you start to see a little bit of rock on this bank line. And then also, I'm just now seeing this too, you may have some opportunity right here where this old little ramp is. So right there on that swing. So when it comes down here and it swings right here, Savannah Lane, it's gonna be right there off that point. And then also the channel swing out here, you wanna fish that as well. You got a lot of rock down here in this area. It looks interesting, looks like a lot of new construction, but a lot of rock in the back there. Got some really good riprap back in here, and more just scattered rock, light rock, and then some really heavy rock right there off that point. Now again, remember, we're looking at this when the water's way down. So if I bring the water back up, it might look a little bit different. So if you're out there and you're fishing, you're like, hey, this doesn't look anything like what we saw on the map, that's because we had the lake down. we had the water pulled down. So let's go back 2013. Let's keep moving. We got more rock in here, additional ramps all the way down back in here. So if you're on that shallow water kind of ramp pattern, you're in business coming back in here, because they're going to be loaded on these ramps if that is the case. And a little bit of rock in here too. But the thing I like about all these ramps that are back in here is there's not a lot of other cover that they can relate to, but they definitely have some ramps. They definitely have a couple docks that they can relate to, and that's about it. So I would look there definitely if you're, if you're kayaking or something like that and you're just stuck in this one little area, take a look at those ramps. Those ramps can produce fish for sure. So let's pull back out of here and let's see what else we've got. We talked about that rock that's in there. We talked about this rock. I think we talked about all of that. Let's go back out here to the point. We get out to the point. We've got some additional rock off that point. We're going to swing down. I'm just going to kind of point out these different areas where these rock are. You can see we've just got several different little areas. When I see something really significant, I'll point it out to you guys. Like right in here, you've got a creek channel, which looks really good. And then on the creek channel swing, which is right here, you've got some cover, which you've got some rock that's right here, and you've also got some rock right in here. So this area right in here, and this dock, that's going to be a higher percentage type area that you're going to want to look at. You've also got some good rock that's back in there too. And then you saw, as I was scrolling, all those different ramps that are back in here. These two channels that are back in here could be good. You got some additional rock that's up here that's really on kind of a swing as well. So it swings here and then runs right up against the bank line there. Pretty much it's kind of parallel with that bank line, but that's what's causing all of that rock. So you definitely want to go look at all of that stuff. Let's move this back. Let's come back up here and let's look around these bridges. Now we talked about the rock around the bridges. Those are always good, but look at this little scattered rock that comes out here. This whole spot right in here looks good. Kind of got the same thing here. Look at these docks. These three docks are probably really good docks to fish around. And you got that riprap in there. This whole section looks good right in that spot. Also there, as you move up, pretty much you've got good rock from that red top or orange top all the way down here, pretty much until you get down to the bridge. Scattered, but definitely there. And then just a lot of ramps, but I really like all that rock right in there. That looks really good. Lots of ramps here too, and then another really good point, really good hard spot with some laydowns as well. I can see that being a productive little point that's in there. Let's keep moving down. Wasn't too much here. This is just some shallow, like riprap type rock, but you could find some there for sure. Moving up here, you just got another creek channel. Got some more little rock there. We talked about this one. Let's zoom in here. This is more of a little rounded point, but it has pretty good rock all around it, so it would be worth getting up there, maybe parallel with the bank line, and seeing what you could find. Then let's move back out. We've got some more rock right in here where the channel kind of comes out and hits that, and then that takes us back out over here to this, what is this, marina? Let's see if it'll tell us what it is. I don't think it's going to tell us, but as we get over here, we've got some rock that's over here. Shallow, very shallow. Probably, I don't even know if you can get back in here with these buoys, but I don't even know if that's worth fishing right there. That rock is very, very shallow. But I would spend some time fishing all of these tires if they're there. And if they're not there, scan around, because a lot of those tires probably fell down, and that's created some underwater cover for you. Let's take a look at it. Let's zoom it back up to 2020. And now those tires are mostly gone, and you've got this break wall. So there's going to be some cover in here. You need to do some scanning around and see what you can find, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's keep moving. We've got some more rock in both of these areas. Rock over here off of this point. More rock off of that point right there for Ramsey Hollow. And then that'll take us back out here to the bridge, back here to the Wolf to Ever Creek boat ramp. And you can see right here, there's some more rock right here along this bank line. So let's go ahead and stop there for tonight. When I come back, we'll continue the Chickamauga South breakdown, and we'll keep moving our way north, see what else we can find. Actually, we're at the very tip of the north side, and then we'll work our way back down, all the way back to the dam, finish up the south side, and then come back with the Navionics mobile app and talk about all the offshore stuff that this lake has to offer. Hey guys, I really appreciate you watching the video. Make sure to go out, check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. We have this lake breakdown completed. You can take all of these waypoints, Put it on an SD card. If you order the digital file, we'll email it to you, or we can mail you the card as well. You plug it into your graph, it breaks down the lake for you. It will change the way you fish, I promise you. Go out, check it out, simplisticfishing.com. Until next time, hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.